Hi, I'm Steggy from Elgato, and this is a quality sample of the Sony A6500 with Elgato Cam Link 4K. The A6500 is an interchangeable lens mirrorless camera from Sony, which retails for about $1,000 body only. The A6500 comes equipped with a micro HDMI port which can output up to 1080p 60fps or 4K 30fps, which is fully clean, meaning there are no overlays even when you're using autofocus. The A6500 supports unlimited runtime, which means if you plug it into a wall or an unlimited power source, it won't turn off. Now, in order to plug the A6500 into a wall, you'll need a dummy battery, which is basically a fake battery with a power cable attached to it so you can plug it into the wall. I'll link in the description below the one that we use for this camera. Now, the lens I'm using right now is a 16mm to 50mm zoom lens, which can be found as the kit lens for most Sony bodies. Now, this allows you to zoom in like so you can get the shot for many situations. So if you find that the zoomed all the way out field of view isn't right for your stream, you can zoom in, which is really nice. Now, when you saw the image darken a bit when I zoomed in, that's because of the manual settings I have on this camera, so you can absolutely get this kind of exposure when you're zoomed in at all levels with this camera and lens. But because the A6500 is an interchangeable lens camera, that means you can swap out the lens for any lens you want to match your occasion. So here are some examples of lenses you can put on the A6500. Here we have the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens, which offers you a really wide field of view, but also a shallow depth of field so you can get that background blur. If you need a little more background blur and you can put some distance between you and the camera, you could opt for the Sony 35mm f1.8, which really gives you a nice blurry background. However, we'd suggest starting with a zoom lens like the 16mm to 50mm because they're relatively inexpensive, and because you can zoom in and out, you can reach those focal lengths like the 16mm or the 35mm or up to the 50mm like I said earlier, so you can see which focal length works for you, because the lenses that I just showed are prime lenses, which means you can't zoom in and out at different focal lengths, so they are fixed focal length or prime lenses. Alright, so here's a quick 4K test with the A6500. So right now I have it set to 4K 30fps, and if you'll notice, the image has gotten more zoomed in, and that's because there is a crop factor when this camera is in 4K mode. So if you're looking for a 4K camera to use with your Cam Link 4K, this is something to keep in mind, that your image will be a little bit more zoomed in. Alright, and so here's a quick test of the A6500 in 4K mode and an external USB microphone so we can test that everything's in sync. But that pretty much covers everything on the A6500 when you use it as a live streaming camera with Elgato Cam Link 4K. You can see what it looks like and you can hear what it sounds like because I've been recording this video with the onboard microphone. Now, I know you won't be using the onboard microphone during your streams, however, it's still nice to hear what it sounds like in case you want to use this camera for videos as well. Once again, I'm Steggy from Elgato, and until our next video, good luck and have fun.